very important. And this time of year, as we come into April, as we come into October, 6 months from now, I know many BNI chapters are having their new leadership cycle happening. So new members are taking the lead. And the leadership team has an excellent opportunity to develop and increase the business results for themselves and the chapter. And I'm super excited today to be joined by Mauricio to help bring an innovative practice that can enhance these goals. So from all the way down south, or at least south compared to where I am in Florida, from Brazil, Mauricio. So excited to have you joining us today.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you for this opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Well, we know each other for a while since we are together in an international BNI group, WWDC. Many friends, we have many friends there. So, being in a leadership role in a BNI chapter, it's a big opportunity, not only to increase your visibility and credibility with the members in your chapter, but also to become a better leader, because there are many challenges that you're gonna face when you are in a president or vice president or a secretary position or role in your chapter, and then using this opportunity, this period. In some regions that, like we are discussing, me and Tiffany before the live stream, it's for 1 year, a 12 months commitment, but some other regions is a 6 month commitment. So using this period to learn and become a better leader is going to help you also in your business. So
yeah, I'm sitting here thinking a lot of times BNI members, I know when I got into BNI, I was a solopreneur. It was just me. Leadership wasn't even in my realm of possibility. I mean, I wouldn't have gone to my first BNI meeting if they would have told me I have to stand up and talk for 30 seconds because I was totally scared to speak in public, which is hysterical now that that's what I do for a living. And I took the president's role on pretty early on because they're like, hey, you've done all these one-to-ones, you've got the energy. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Sure. So sometimes we have to learn some of those skills. So I'm super excited that you're here today to share some of those with us. Now, for y'all watching, Mauricio is a 7-year BNI member, area director in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. What's the weather like down there right now this time of year?
It is pretty hot, sometimes 35 degrees Celsius, sometimes 40. Yes, it is hot.
We're in our cold time of the year for us, but we are looking at those 35 degrees will be here before we know it. It's what, March now? We're having a cold spell, but then it's time to get those heat waves coming our way. So let me tell you a little bit about Mauricio before I turn the floor over him to talk to us about leadership. He is a leadership development expert, an executive coach certified by Marshall Goldsmith, and founder of the leadership community in Brazil. After a 25-year career in the corporate market as an executive and business coach, he's gathered all of his experience in leading large teams to help executive and entrepreneurs increase their results and the engagement of their teams. Leadership's feed forward team engagement and team building. And because we're in this BNI realm, I do want to share something that nobody knows about him. He is extremely faithful to his barber, so he only changes barbers after the previous one has died. Oh my gosh. And so he's had 5 barbers in his lifetime, though luckily his current barber is in good health.
It's Alberto.
Alberto,
thank you, Alberto.
In good health. Stay that way.
Yeah, he's in good health. Yeah. Hope to stay with him for many years. Still in here.
All right. So do share with us some of your thoughts on, the essence of leading a BNI chapter.
Yeah. Let me start with something that's not exactly has to do with leading BNI chapters, but it's very important to understand the concept of the technique that I'm going to talk about. So, Tiffany, if you think about your company, the services and products that your company provides, who can say that these products and services, they are good and they are improving? Who can say that?
So I would guess I'd probably turn to my clients first to say, okay, how are things going for you? How are we using this? How is this working on your behalf?
Perfect. Because even if you have a quality department, if the customer says the product is not good, actually, it is not good. So who consumes the product, who consumes the services, are the person that can say that the product is good and is improving. So the customers.
Gotcha.
When it comes to leadership, who can say that a leader is good and is improving?
I guess that would be the people that are under the leader, that are being led by the leader, because they're the ones that are dealing with it.
The direct reports. The direct reports, his peers, the superior, everyone around the leader, because they consume his leadership. The same way the customers that consume a product, they can say that a product is good and is improving. The stakeholders, the people around the leader, they consume the leadership. So that way they are the only people that can really say if a leader is good and is improving. That's why it's very important to engage the stakeholders in the process of leadership development. And that's what I've been doing for many years, and I've been very successful engaging the stakeholders. So now, looking at a perspective, the leadership perspective of a president or a vice president or a secretary in a BNI chapter. So you are committing to be for 1 year or 6 months in a leadership position. So asking for feedback is really very important. Actually, many people have you have videos, you have trainings, you have articles about feedback, and feedback is very important to understand what are the areas in need of improvement. So you need to communicate better, delegate better, follow up more effectively, deal with conflict management, have a more strategic vision. So there are many areas that you can work on to be a better leader, and listening to feedback gives you the opportunity to understand what are these areas. So that's why feedback is very important. But one thing that I've been doing in this years, and I haven't seen many companies investing in, is feed forward. Feed forward is different from feedback, because feedback, it's about the past. So when I ask for feedback to someone, for example, imagine you are the president of a chapter and you're talking to the other coordinators. So you have many roles in a BNI leadership team chapter. So asking for feedback can help you understand if you need to improve in a specific competency, but it does not help you change your behavior. And behavioral change is not easy. Actually, it's pretty difficult. Yeah. It's even if you, for example, people that have problem with delegation. So most of the time, when it comes to small business, these leaders, they are in the main position for many years, and they have a hard time delegating and trusting in their teams. So imagine you have a business owner like this in a president position in a BNI chapter. So the same behavior will happen again. And understanding what are these areas in need of improvement is very important to use for you to use feed forward. So the first thing I would advise anyone in a leadership role in a BNI chapter is ask for feedback with the other members of the leadership team, the coordinators. So the way to do this is a simple question: what can I do to be a better leader? And then listen to them. Does not try to start a conversation. Just listen and making notes about what he's saying. And you have this agreement with the person when you are asking for feedback. So, well, I'm going to ask you about what I need to change, what I need to improve, and I'm going to listen to you. And I'm not going to discuss what you're saying. I'm just going to listen and thank you at the end. So these are the first 3 steps of feed forward. So it involves feedback, asking for suggestions, or what are the areas in need of improvement, listening to it, and thanking in the end. And does not try to make any comments.
Well, what would you suggest to those of us, though, that want to make comments like, okay, you're giving me all this stuff, but I've got reasons and stuff behind it? What do you say to those people that are like, but I really want to discuss it, not just listen?
It's not easy. It's not easy yet, but you need to practice this. Um, there are some things that are allowed to ask. For example, if the information you received is not clear, for example, well, I'm not sure if I'm understanding what you're saying. So can you give me an example of a situation in the past that you think I should behave in another way to do what you are suggesting? So this is the type of question that is allowed because
Okay.
it's to clarify what the person is talking, but not trying to discuss the feedback or not trying to explain why you behave that way. So that's not allowed. If you really want to receive sincere, candid, and honest feedback, because
Gotcha.
we will only be honest with you if they see that you are really receptive, you are really listening to what they are saying. And if you try to explain, no, but I behave that way because of blah blah blah, so they will start thinking, well, actually, Mauricio, I think that he's not really looking for feedback because everything I say to him, he gives an excuse. He tried to explain. So being in silence while receiving feedback is very important. And think in the end. Then you can understand what are the area that you need to improve. Gathering all the information you're receiving from feedback, now you will have to choose one area to be a better leader. It can be delegation, it can be communication better, it can be, well, you have many competencies that you need to improve when you are in a leadership role in a BNI chapter. So, for example, following up more effectively, the vice president need to follow up with the membership committee every time to see if the candidates they are getting in touch with the candidates on time, not taking too long. So the interviews are being doing accordingly with the plan. So there are many opportunities for you to choose leadership competency, my advice is choose only one. Oh, Mauricio, but uh,
Why only one? I mean, let's say I come up with there's 17 things that I need to work on. Why would I just pick one to start with?
yeah, that's a good question because behavioral change is very difficult. If you choose many areas, you will have a hard time improving in 1 year. And this program is perfect for BNI because feed forward is good for you to use during 1 year, choosing one area. And imagine if that every year, as a business owner or in a leadership role in BNI, it doesn't matter. If you choose only one area per year, if you do it for, like, let's say 5 years or 6 years, how can you become a much better leader using feed forward? So choose one area because you'll focus on this area to be better. And usually it's important to be a leadership area that it has an impact in all of the others. So we'll choose the area that you need more improvement in the moment you are. So after you have chosen the answer, you will ask for suggestions from the same stakeholders. So I need to improve in delegation. What are the suggestions you have to me to be a better leader in delegating more effectively, for example? So doing this question, you will also listen for suggestions and you'll note down and thank for them. And again, just listen, not start a conversation about this. After noting down all of the suggestions, then you'll build an action plan with several behavioral commitments, some things that you need to change in your daily routine as a leader in your BNI chapter. For example, you can give more space for some members to bring some issues to you that you are not allowing them to do it, doing some recognition to specific members that you are not doing. So usually are small things that you need to change on your daily routine that you will change how they perceive your leadership, because feed forward is about the change of perception. Because if changing the perception of your leadership, you're not becoming a better leader. Then after creating this action plan, then you communicate it to your stakeholders so they can follow up with you. What are your commitments to be a better leader? What are the behaviors that you are going to change? And then follow up with them after 1 month. So this feed forward cycle takes 1 month, 30 days, and then again, come to them, ask for more suggestions, build an action plan, communicate, and follow up again. You do this for, let's say, 9 or 10 months. So this complete cycle takes 7 steps: asking for suggestions, listening to them, thanking the stakeholder, thinking about the suggestion and building an action plan, then communicating your action plan to your stakeholders, then doing the change, executing the action plan and showing them that you are a new leader. And the 7th step is following up with them again 30 years after you started. So doing this complete cycle, it's the way that Marshall Goldsmith does feed forward. And I've been doing this with many companies, and people in leadership roles in BNI can do that again, also, to help them understand that what they need to change and really change, engaging the stakeholders.
Gotcha. So I love this. We've got our 7 steps. Here's how we're doing it. We're talking a lot about, really utilizing the stakeholders. Though I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on how do we utilize the director consultants, the chapter success coaches? Because I'm guessing they might have a little bit that they can do to help us as well. Because while they're not people that we're leading, they have usually, you've got 7 years of expertise as an area director. So my guess would be is you probably have a plethora of amazing ideas that you could help if you share that with the chapters that you manage.
Yeah, it's something that is, as a director, it's very important to do this, frequently doing this question: how can I be a better leader for you? Because this is something that we forget to do. We work as not only as a coach, but as a mentor for the leadership teams, because we know the methodology and how to implement it. And sometimes we forget to ask, how can I be a better leader for you? And listening to their feedback. So as a director consultant or area director or in any leadership role in BNI, even as an executive director, it's very important to do that. And that's why the title of this streaming is Courage, Humility, and Discipline. And I'll explain that now. Courage, because it's not easy for you to communicate publicly. So all of the stakeholders will know in what area you need to improve. It needs courage. Well, I'm an area director in Brazil, and I need to delegate more effectively. I need your help, and that's okay. And I'll engage you, my team, for me to become a better director for you, because there are benefits for me, for you, and for all of the businesses if I delegate more effectively. So it needs courage. Humility, because the suggestions for you to become a better leader will come from your stakeholders, people that you are supporting. So it needs humility to listen to their suggestions, because you are you have more experience than them. So why would I listen to a suggestion from someone that it doesn't have even a year in BNI? I'm out for 7 years. So it needs humility to understand that. And discipline, because executing the action plan on a daily basis needs discipline. Because when you are managing a crisis in a chapter, or you are under a lot of pressure in your business, or doing many things at the same time, you will forget the action plan. You'll forget it. It's like, well, let me train my mind. I'm going to brush my teeth using my left hand, and I write with my right hand.
Yeah.
So when in a day that I'm in a hurry to a meeting, I will brush my teeth with the right hand. So trying to do it differently, to behave differently, it's not easy. That's need that discipline. That's why you need courage, humility, and discipline to practice feed forward.
Awesome. I love this. And you're giving us so much amazing stuff here. However, we are getting closer to our time. In just a minute, I'm going to ask you to share what else do we need to know. But first, I wanted to have you share, if people are looking to find out more about Feed Forward, if people are looking to find out more about, working with you to help in their organization, how do they find you? And that's A and B. In what languages do you work with people? Because I know it's not all English all the time.
No, okay. As I'm in Brazil, I usually support companies in Brazil and Portugal, and English-speaking companies or English-speaking countries. So the better way to get in touch with me is using LinkedIn. So send a message. Okay, it's a pleasure to help anyone. I'm always able to help other leaders, even if you need to have a conversation. So I've been doing this for many years, and Feed Forward really changed my life. I started with myself before starting helping others. So I really think that the world will be better with Feed Forward. We talk a lot about feedback, but many companies, they don't know Feed Forward yet, and my mission is to help them implement the culture of Feed Forward.
The idea of looking forward to make it happen. Yes, we need to know what's going on, but moving forward to make amazing things happen. So what would you like to leave? What else do the BNI members need to know in this idea of the essence of leading a BNI chapter? What else do you want to share with them as we begin to wrap up today's program?
Being a good listener, I think, is one of the most important competencies of a leader when you are in a leadership role in a BNI chapter. So listen to your members, listen to your coordinators, get close to them. That will give you more visibility, credibility, and will help you move to profitability in your business. Because all of us in BNI, we are here to build relationships, create a safe environment for everyone to be successful. And being in a leadership position, it's very important. You're going to impact many, many businesses. So, and congratulations for you, Tiffanie. You, as you were a president, you know the importance of your role. I've been also in my second year, I was the president of my chapter, and it completely changed my life.
What has been your favorite role in the chapter that you've done?
President, for sure. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, president's probably my favorite role, number one. Tied for second is educational coordinator, and now I know they changed it, but doing the member reviews. I know they've changed the name since I've done it, because that was probably a decade ago when I was that role. I found the educational coordinator role a little bit easier in time-wise because I was already a trainer, and so I've got all the stuff, and you can just delegate to other people. The reviews role was really powerful. It took a little bit more time, but could definitely see even something like that as leading the chapter.
Yes. No, I agree with you. I was also an education coordinator. So,
and my thing is, yes, I will be on leadership. Now, I think you have to find the right leadership role for each person, but I always recommend being on leadership, whether that's in BNI or any organization that you're a part of. So, Mauricio, for those of you watching, if you want to learn more about Feed Forward, more about this amazing stuff, do find Mauricio on LinkedIn, connect with him, send him a message. And for those of you watching, so glad to have you with our Monday BNI Talks. Next week, we're going to be joined by another one of our WWDC fellow members. Kong-Wei is going to talk to us about the law of attraction.
Wow.
So next week, same time, same place, we will see you live on our social media. Thank you so much, Mauricio, for being here with us today.
Tiffanie.
Happy networking, y'all.